Have you ever wondered, where do we come from? This question has swept through the human mind like a breeze for thousands of years, from ancient caves to modern laboratories. Every culture, religion, and scientific discipline offers its own answers, yet Buddhism unveils a wholly unique perspective, not one that seeks a fixed starting point, but one that lifts the veil on the mystery of life through endless cycles and practical wisdom. Join me, John, a dedicated student who has spent many years immersed in the profound study of the Dharma, as I guide you on this journey of discovery, a journey where human origins are not merely tales of the past, but keys to unlocking the present and shaping the future. Part 1: Beginningless Time, a Vision Beyond the Starting Point. In Buddhism, inquiries into the origins of humanity or the universe are not treated as puzzles demanding a definitive, clear-cut solution. Rather, the Buddha offered a distinctive perspective that transcends metaphysical debates about a beginning. He showed little interest in pinpointing a singular moment when all things commenced, for in his view, such questions yield no practical benefit on the path to liberation from suffering. This is vividly illustrated in the Agivakagata Sutta, a renowned scripture within the Pali Canon. When pressed about the origin or end of the cosmos, the Buddha declined to respond. Instead, he offered a compelling analogy: a man struck by a poisoned arrow, rather than seeking to remove it and heal, fixates on irrelevant details: where the arrow came from, who shot it, what it was made of. To the Buddha, chasing the absolute origin of existence mirrors this futile curiosity. It does not bring us closer to peace or enlightenment. Rather than dwelling on a starting point, Buddhism perceives time as a boundless, beginningless flow, an unbroken cycle without discernible edges. In the Animatagga Sutta, the Buddha taught that samsara, the ceaseless rebirth of beings, spans countless lifetimes, so vast that no one can identify the very first moment. He declared, this cycle of rebirth has no discernible beginning. A first point cannot be discerned. This teaching not only challenges linear notions of time prevalent in many religious and cultural traditions, but also opens a deeper understanding of existence's nature. In Buddhism, time is not a straight line with a start and finish. It is an infinite circle where all things perpetually arise, abide, dissolve, and re-emerge in new forms. To help us grasp the immensity of time, the Buddha often employed vivid, evocative metaphors. One striking example, found in the Animatagga Sutta, is the tale of the stone mountain. He described it thus: imagine a massive rock mountain, 1 yojana high and wide in every direction. If, every 100 years, a person brushed its surface once with a delicate silk cloth, the mountain would wear away completely long before a single kalpa ends. A kalpa, in Buddhist terms, is an eon so vast it defies human imagination. This imagery not only underscores time's boundless expanse but conveys a profound message: our current lives, however long they seem to us, are but fleeting moments within the grand stream of the cosmos. This metaphor of the mountain carries practical significance for people worldwide, transcending culture or creed. It reminds us of impermanence, anicca, one of the 3 fundamental marks of existence in Buddhism. All that we deem solid, our bodies, possessions, even our greatest achievements, will ultimately fade, much like the mountain eroded by silk. Recognizing this, practitioners are encouraged to release attachment to transient things and turn their hearts toward the pursuit of wisdom and liberation, which rise above the endless flow of time. The concept of beginningless time is intricately tied to karma in Buddhism. Karma refers to intentional actions of body, speech, and mind, producing causes and effects that ripple across lifetimes. When the Buddha spoke of samsara's lack of a clear origin, he implied that beings' karma has accumulated over immeasurable eons, untraceable to a single starting moment. Yet this does not trap us in a hopeless cycle of fate. On the contrary, it bestows upon each of us a great responsibility: no matter how deep the past, the present offers a chance to transform, to plant new seeds for the future. For a global audience, this is a universal message: you need not know where you began to begin living a meaningful life. Another facet of beginningless time in Buddhism starkly contrasts the linear views common in Western cultures or monotheistic faiths. While many traditions seek a singular, creation event, a moment when all was birthed by a supreme will, Buddhism relies not on a creator but on the law of dependent origination, paticca samuppada. Here, all phenomena arise from interdependent conditions. Thus, beginningless time is not a void of meaning but a complex web of cause and effect, each moment linked to the past and future. For those new to the Dharma, the idea of beginningless time may stir confusion or doubt. Yet the Buddha did not demand blind faith. He urged direct experience through meditation and reflection to perceive life's true nature. In meditation, you might notice the mind oscillating between past and future, yet only the present is tangible. Beginningless time, then, is not a distant theory but an invitation to return to this moment, the only place where change can begin. This understanding holds not just philosophical weight but profound practicality for daily life. Whether you hail from the East or West, live in modernity or antiquity, the Buddha's message rings clear: do not entangle your mind in unanswerable questions about ultimate origins. Instead, focus on how you live, how you engage with the world, and how you face yourself. Beginningless time is not a burden but a reminder that life is a series of opportunities, each moment a gateway to the path of awakening. For viewers worldwide, this is a call to rise above cultural or religious divides, together exploring the deep meaning of existence within time's boundless stream. Part 2: The Cyclic Universe, Life in the Rounds of Formation and Dissolution. Buddhism does not view the universe as a tale with a clear beginning and end but as an unending cycle where all things arise, endure, dissolve, and are reborn anew. This vision is brought to life in the Agana Sutta, where the Buddha describes the universe cycling through phases of contraction and expansion. During contraction, material forms seem to vanish, space becomes void, and beings are reborn into subtler realms, such as the Abhasara Brahma realm, existing as radiant, mind-made entities unbound by the physical world as we know it. Then, at a certain point, the universe expands again, the material world reforms, and beings from the Abhasara realm appear in lower realms, including the human one. This is neither a random nor singular event but part of an eternal cycle repeating beyond measure. What stands out in this depiction is that the Buddhist cosmos is not governed by a creator or supernatural will. Instead, the formation and dissolution of worlds are driven by natural elements: earth, water, wind, fire, and space interacting with the power of karma. Here, karma is not merely individual action but the collective interplay of causes and conditions from countless beings across vast eons. As these elements align and stabilize, they craft material worlds, offering a stage where beings experience the fruits of past deeds. This perspective delivers a potent message to people everywhere. Life is not a gift bestowed by another but the outcome of a natural, causal process where each of us plays a role in shaping ourselves and our surroundings. Another striking feature of the Buddhist worldview is its unimaginable vastness. In the Brahmajala Sutta, the Buddha speaks not only of our world but of countless world systems, lokadhatas, stretching endlessly in all directions. Each system follows its own cycle of birth, growth, and decay, all subject to impermanence, anicca. These worlds are not isolated, they are interwoven through dependent origination. For instance, the karma of beings in one world may influence another's formation, weaving an intricate tapestry of life and cosmos. To a global audience, this may echo the modern scientific notion of a multiverse, yet in Buddhism, it is more than a physical theory, it is an ethical framework. your actions reverberate not just in your life but across the vast expanse of existence. The Buddha illustrated these cycles of formation and dissolution with the concept of a kalpa, an eon spanning billions of years, divided into 4 phases: formation, vivarta, stability, vivartasiddha, dissolution, samvata, and void, samvatasiddha. During formation, the material world takes shape, enabling life to emerge. Stability marks a period of endurance where beings thrive. Dissolution sees all things mountains, oceans crumble until only emptiness remains in the void phase. Then, the cycle begins anew. This imagery highlights the impermanence of all phenomena, reminding us that even what seems eternal, our homes, cities, or planet, is fleeting in the cosmic flow. For those new to the Dharma, one might ask, if everything repeats, what is life's purpose? The Buddha did not see this cycle as meaningless or despairing. Instead, he viewed it as an opportunity. Amid the ceaseless flux of birth and death, humans can awaken to life's true nature, breaking free from samsara through enlightenment. Thus, the cosmic cycle is not a curse but a call: live mindfully, for each lifetime is a step toward ultimate freedom. This perspective carries deep meaning in a global context. Whether you live in Asia with its rich Buddhist heritage or the West with its scientific lens, the message is clear: the universe is not a static entity awaiting discovery but a dynamic process where all is interconnected. A star fading in a distant sky, a kind act in a small village, all contribute to existence's grand design. Buddhism urges us not just to marvel at the heavens but to look within, for there lies the key to understanding the cosmos. Moreover, the cyclic universe of Buddhism complements modern scientific insights without conflict. Cosmologists speak of the Big Bang as the universe's start and hypothesize a future collapse, Big Crunch, mirroring the Buddha's cycles. Yet while science seeks to measure and prove, Buddhism focuses on practical meaning. Understanding cosmic cycles helps us let go of attachment to the ephemeral and live responsibly toward ourselves and the world. For viewers worldwide, this teaching inspires a profound realization: you are not an isolated speck in a vast universe but part of its living cycle. Every breath, thought, and deed is a drop in the ocean of samsara, rippling far beyond what you see. Grasping this, life becomes more than passing days. It is a journey within the cosmos's great movement, where suffering can be transformed, and freedom is ever within reach. Part 3: The Journey of Transformation, From Mind to Form. In Buddhism, the emergence of humanity is not a fixed point or singular act of creation but a poetic, meaningful transformation recounted by the Buddha in the Agana Sutta. Initially, beings bore no physical form as we do today. They existed as radiant, mind-made entities, living in a state of lightness and purity. The Buddha described, at that time, there was only a vast expanse of water, shrouded in darkness. These beings were formed of mind, sustained by joy, pity, self-luminous, moving freely through space. This is an inspiring vision of primordial life, unbounded, free of suffering, untethered by the material needs familiar to us now. These beings required no food as we understand it. Joy, pity, a spiritual bliss, nourished their existence. The world then had no land, no trees, no animals, just a primal space where all blended in the purity of consciousness. For a global audience, this image evokes wonder, as if we glimpse an original version of ourselves before life grew tangled by desires and physical demands. Yet change came gradually and naturally. In the Agana Sutta, the Buddha tells of a substance called earthly essence, bhumirasa, appearing on the water's surface, described as fragrant and enticing, akin to honey or condensed milk. Drawn by curiosity, these luminous beings tasted it. This marked a pivotal shift. As they relied on this material sustenance, their inner radiance faded. Their bodies grew coarse and heavy, losing their initial ethereality. The Buddha explained, as they consumed it, their self-luminosity vanished, and differences among beings emerged. From this, physical features, hands, feet, faces formed, and diversity in appearance arose. The transformation deepened further. With their light gone, beings began noticing distinctions among themselves. The Buddha recounted how some grew prideful, "I am more beautiful, I am less," sparking negative emotions like arrogance and envy. This detail is striking, for it describes not just a physical evolution but the birth of defilements, kilesa, the roots of suffering in Buddhism. For a global audience, this resonates universally. It mirrors how comparison and craving can obscure our innate clarity, regardless of era or culture. The shift continued with the emergence of gender. Initially, these beings were neither male nor female, existing in a neutral state unbound by physical reproduction. But as their forms coarsened and tied to materiality, male and female traits appeared. The Buddha attributed this to karma, past actions and desires steering them to this new state. With gender came physical reproduction, drawing beings deeper into the cycle of birth and death, samsara. This is more than an evolutionary tale, it is a caution: the more we cling to the material, the further we drift from the mind's primal freedom. Alongside these changes, the environment transformed. As the earthly essence dwindled, new vegetation emerged, from edible vines to grains like rice. Beings adapted to seeking and using these resources, but this shift bore consequences. The Buddha noted, as they hoarded plants, greed and rivalry arose. Some kept food for themselves, refusing to share, disrupting the once harmonious balance. The material world, once a support, became a source of conflict and suffering. For today's viewers, this parallels humanity's exploitation of nature, from forests to oceans, and the fallout when greed exceeds limits. This shift from mind to form in Buddhism is not merely biological but a profound lesson in karma and dependent origination, paticca samuppada. Each step from tasting the essence to greed's rise stems from choices and desires. The Buddha stressed nothing happens by chance, beings' actions shape their bodies, minds, and world. This is a powerful message globally. Wherever you are, in any age, you mold your life through every thought and deed. For those seeking meaning here, this is more than an answer to where we came from, it is a call to look within. We may have lost the inner light of those early beings, but the potential to reclaim that purity remains through meditation, compassion, and mindfulness. For viewers worldwide, this transcends cultural bounds. The journey from mind to form is not decline but an opportunity to realize life's true nature and return to inner freedom. Each change offers a lesson. Suffering springs from craving, yet liberation lies within reach when we let go. Part 4: The Rise of Society, from Individuals to Community. As human forms stabilized through the shift from luminous mind beings to coarse bodies, a new chapter unfolded: the birth of society. In the Agana Sutta, the Buddha describes how beings, once solitary, began gathering together, no longer roaming freely in boundless space but collaborating to survive in an increasingly complex material world. This was not just a natural response to their environment but a profound reflection of dependent origination, paticca samuppada. All things arise from interdependent conditions. For a global audience, this tale of community's origin carries universal weight. Humans, in any time or culture, need one another to live and grow. Initially, this gathering stemmed from the need to share resources. With the earthly essence depleted and plants like vines and grains becoming staples, beings realized isolation was no longer viable. They formed small groups, trading food, safeguarding each other against environmental shifts, and laying the groundwork for basic social structures. The Buddha did not depict this as random but as an inevitable evolution, as bodies grew dependent on matter, cooperation became survival's key. This resonates globally from ancient tribes to modern cities. Society's essence lies in the need to connect and support one another. With this coming together, language, the hallmark of human communication, emerged. In the Agana Sutta, the Buddha notes that early exchanges were intuitive and wordless. But as they lived and worked side by side, beings developed specific sounds and symbols to convey ideas and emotions. From simple calls to complex words, language became a bridge, fostering understanding and bonds. For today's viewers, this mirrors how language has shaped civilization from carvings on stone to digital code, a testament to humanity's creativity and connectivity. Yet society's formation was not all harmony. As resources grew scarce, the notion of ownership arose. The Buddha recounts how beings divided land, hoarded food, and claimed things as mine. Conflict followed. Those who once shared now competed. Those once equal now distinguished self from other. Greed, lobha, and anger, dosa, core defilements in Buddhism crept in, fracturing early unity. This is not just an ancient tale but a warning for today. When personal gain trumps collective good, society teeters toward instability and suffering. To address conflict, a new solution emerged: governance and law. In the Agana Sutta, the Buddha tells how beings chose a leader, the great elect, Mahasamada, meaning one agreed upon by all, to maintain order, mediate disputes, and ensure fairness. This birthed the concepts of authority and justice, not imposed by a divine force but crafted by humans to meet practical needs. The Buddha emphasized this was neither inherently good nor evil but a natural outcome of changing conditions. For a global audience, this reflects how societies worldwide, from Hammurabi's code to modern constitutions, arise to balance individual and communal needs. As society grew, the division of labor marked a key advance. Some became farmers, cultivating food; others artisans, crafting tools; others merchants, trading goods. This diversity fueled thriving communities and birthed early civilizations. Yet it also bred inequality. Those with more resources or power rose above others, forming social strata. The Buddha did not condemn this outright but saw it as karma's fruit, actions and desires across lifetimes. For today's viewers, this echoes modern struggles with wealth gaps and power, a challenge rooted in humanity's dawn. Alongside material and structural growth, moral awakening bloomed. The Buddha taught that facing the fallout of greed, anger, and delusion, conflict, loss, suffering, beings began valuing righteous conduct. Tales of spiritual teachers and seekers in Buddhist texts attest to the rise of compassion, karuna, generosity, dana, and mindfulness, sati. These values counterbalanced material temptations, guiding toward harmony. For a global audience, this transcends religion or culture. Society is built not just by labor but by each member's heart and wisdom. The Buddha stressed that society's rise reflects both karma and ethical choices. It is a source of suffering when drawn into rivalry and division, and a chance for liberation when we learn to live together mindfully and kindly. For viewers worldwide, this is not just history but a mirror of today. Our complex, conflicted societies reflect what humanity has wrought over millennia. Understanding this, each of us can contribute to a better community not by remaking the world, but by transforming ourselves daily. Part 5: The Meaning of Life, Opportunity and Rarity. In Buddhism, human life is not merely a segment of the vast cycle of samsara but holds unique significance, a rare chance to realize truth and attain liberation. The Buddha emphasized that being born human is precious, a singular midway state among the cosmos's realms. Unlike devas in higher realms, often lost in pleasure and forgetful of awakening, or beings in lower realms like hells and hungry ghosts, drowned in suffering too deep for reflection, humans possess a rare balance of joy and pain. This balance enables contemplation, practice, and progress toward freedom from samsara. For viewers worldwide, this is a universal truth. Whoever you are, wherever you live, your life is a special gift not for aimless enjoyment or endurance, but to uncover existence's profound meaning. To illustrate this rarity, the Buddha offered a vivid metaphor in the Chiggala Sutta. Imagine a blind turtle swimming in a boundless ocean. On its surface floats a wooden yoke with a small hole. Every 100 years, the turtle rises. How rare is it for its head to pass through that hole? Rarer still is birth as a human. This image, striking in its evocative power, delivers a deep message. Among countless lifetimes across realms from animals to ghosts to devas, rebirth as a human is near miraculous. For a global audience, this transcends cultural or religious lines, urging us to cherish each day as a chance not easily regained. The Buddha taught, hard it is to be born human, hard it is to live virtuously. This is not to instill fear but to awaken gratitude and responsibility. As humans, we have discernment, the ability to think, feel, and choose between good and evil. This sets us apart from other species and even higher beings lulled by fleeting comforts. With this capacity, we can access the Dharma, practice the Noble Eightfold Path, the Eightfold Way to end suffering, and strive for liberation, Nibbana. For today's viewers, this is practical. Life is not just days passing but a journey where each choice can draw us nearer to inner peace. Understanding human origins and our unique place is not Buddhism's ultimate aim. The Buddha discouraged dwelling on metaphysical queries like, where did I come from, for curiosity's sake. In the Agivakagata Sutta, he sidestepped abstract questions about the cosmos's origin or the self's nature, deeming them distractions from liberation. Instead, he taught that understanding existence serves a practical end, recognizing the impermanence, anicca, suffering, dukkha, and non-self, anatta, of all things. For a global audience, this means turning knowledge into action, not just knowing, but living better and more meaningfully. This rarity ties to karma. The Buddha taught that human birth stems from past good deeds, yet the future is not fixed. Our present words, actions, and thoughts shape our destiny across lifetimes. In the Dhammapada, he said, all we are arises from what we've thought. With a tainted mind, suffering follows. With a pure mind, happiness follows. This empowers us. Whatever the past, you can reshape the future by living mindfully now. For viewers worldwide, this overcomes helplessness, affirming each moment as a chance to sow positive seeds. Human life's meaning, in Buddhism, lies not in fame, wealth, or fleeting joy. The Buddha taught these, though alluring, are impermanent and cannot satisfy enduringly. True meaning lies in realizing suffering's nature and its transcendence. Human existence is a unique laboratory to test compassion, hone mindfulness, and cultivate wisdom, panna. For a global audience, this is universal, religious or not, you can find value in a life of awareness and duty. Living this meaning daily is what the Buddha stressed. Knowing life's rarity is not theory but a call to act. Start small, smile instead of scowl, listen rather than argue, reflect a few minutes daily on what matters. These deeds benefit you and ripple outward, sparking positive change. For viewers worldwide, this reminds us that amid chaos, war, climate shifts, personal stress, each can make a difference through gratitude and mindfulness. Human life, in Buddhism, is not an end but a vital phase in samsara's long journey, a chance to peer within, see our cosmic link, and break free from greed, hatred, and delusion. For viewers globally, this inspires, Wherever you stand, successful or struggling, joyful or pained, you hold the key to make this life a meaningful path, not just for yourself, but for the world. Human origins, through Buddhism's lens, are not a simple answer but a vibrant tapestry of time, karma, and transformation. From cosmic cycles to tiny choices, we are part of this grand flow. Understanding this, life shifts from "where did I come from" to "where am I going?" Live mindfully, for each step today plants seeds for countless lives ahead. Are you ready to walk this path?